You're going to be at training camp. I'm going to be at training camp. It
Yep.
starts in 4 or 5 weeks. What battles are you going to be watching closest?
I think there's going to be a lot of good ones. I really do. I think the number 2 quarterback is going to be primary. I think Sudfeld and Purdy will battle this summer. I think Purdy will win that job. I think, the backup running back spots. I mean, first of all, the starter at running back, is it Mitchell? Is it TDP? Is it Wilson? Is it Sermon? And then there's other guys. Jermichael Hasty looked good in the OTAs. Jordan Mason looked good in the OTAs. So I think the running back competition is going to be intense. I think the number 2 tight end job behind Kittle is going to be really good. And then they drafted an awful lot of young offensive linemen. And I think the O-line is, between injuries and new faces like Jake Brendel and Aaron Banks, Mike McGlinchey is his status with the quad. I think the offensive line is going to be a day-to-day thing to watch all summer. For sure. I think that last wide receiver spot is going to be really, really intriguing. I think most of the battles that I'm eager to see are on the offensive side of the football. How about you?
Agree. It seems like the defense is pretty entrenched. There's no battle at strong safety. There is a battle at nickel. I'm very interested in that. But otherwise, I mean, I'm also interested to see nose tackle. I want to see Javon Kinlaw practice. I want to see him out there every day healthy. And I want to see him go. I want to see what he does compared to Kevin Gibbons, who I think has improved steadily since he's been on the team and has been there practicing healthy. And that matters. So I'd like to see that competition. But then on offense, every single spot other than left tackle on the offensive line is a competition. Left guard, center, right guard, and even right tackle. Because I'm skeptical. I never thought Michael Glitchy was that good in the first place. Sorry. And now he's coming back from a very serious injury. What's he going to be like? Is he better than Jalen Moore in year 2? I'd like to know. Maybe not. I'd like to see.
Oh, I think in their minds, he definitely is the starter at right tackle. But I think the entire O-line outside of Trent Williams is very much a question mark. I think the entire secondary is a question mark. I mean, you brought in Charvarius Ward, you have Jimmy Ward and Nafanga, and you got Mosley and Ambry. You got a lot of bodies at corner, and you're pretty thin at safety. But to me, that secondary and how it comes together as a unit, top to bottom, I think is the secondary and the O-line are the 2 kind of question mark units going into this year. And there's a lot of questions from within. Now, I think the secondary could be a real strength because I think Afonga's a hell of a player. Same with Jimmy Ward, same with Charvarius Ward. They're deeper on the corner than they've been in the past. So, there's a lot of the O-line and the secondary are intriguing because there's going to be a lot of competition and there's a lot of different options.
Yeah, and I think they have a big decision to make at corner. Like, they're going to cycle all these nickelbacks through. It's possible they don't have a starting nickelback. It's possible their best 3 corners are Charvarius Ward, Emmanuel Mosley, and Ambry Thomas. If that's the case, what do? Are they going to start giving Mosley reps at nickel? Maybe they should. They didn't in OTAs and minicamp, but at a certain point, they're going to have to figure out who are our best 3 corners and how can we get them on the field together? Or are they just going to sit Ambry Thomas all year until someone gets hurt on the outside? Because that seems kind of like a waste. He was improving last year.
To me, the biggest intrigue is of the young guys, and they added a lot of young people, a lot of young players before and after the draft, both in the O-line and in the secondary. Which of the young players that were added are going to actually ball out and play and earn roster spots and compete? There's all kinds of options in the secondary. I think Womack is intriguing. I think Leon O'Neal's intriguing. Quantrez Knight from UCLA is exciting. There's 4 or 5 young DBs and there's 4 or 5 young O linemen. Spencer Burford. I heard some speculation that Burford might start in front of Aaron Banks at left guard. Based on what I saw from Jason Poe, I think there's a chance that Jason Poe gives Jake Brendel a run for his money. Nick Zakel. So I think the 2 spots where it's like the most unknown is secondary and on the O-line, because they did add an awful lot of bodies there, and I think they're expecting kind of a lively competition.
I also feel like there's going to be pretty much an all-out competition at running back. Now, maybe Elijah Mitchell will be the starter as an incumbent just because he was a starter last year, but the offense is way different than last year. There's different position coaches, coordinators. It's going to be more of a shotgun zone read type of offense with under center stuff sprinkled in. It's kind of be the opposite of what it used to be. And which running back fits at the best? Is it Mitchell? Is it Wilson? Is it Ty Davis Price? Is it Sermon? I mean, I think a lot of these guys, whoever plays the best in preseason could be starting week 1. No,
I agree.
To anyone.
Yeah. I mean, if you told me that Jordan Mason beat out all these guys, I wouldn't even be that shocked, you know. And it's like people will say, I haven't even heard of Jordan Mason. I think he wears 41. Yeah. But I mean, you know, he looked pretty good in the minicamp, and Elijah Mitchell, Ty Davis Price, Jeff Wilson, Trey Sermon, Jermichael Hasty. And they got a bunch of bodies here, but nobody. I mean, on paper, you'd say it's Mitchell, but who knows? I mean, you know, I think the spirited running back, competition could be outstanding this summer, all the way into the preseason, maybe right up to the cutdown date.
Yeah, and what's tough is like the Niners have to really, really have a full-on competition at running back and offensive line. 2 of the tougher positions to judge in practice. Yeah. So the Niners are going to have to figure out a way, and then those preseason games are going to mean a lot for those positions. Also, tight end. I mean, not Kittle, but he doesn't practice that much anymore, and everyone else seems to be competing for spots. I didn't see Charlie Warner one day in OTAs. I mean, I guess he's not really important enough for anyone to ask about him, but no one asked about him, but I didn't see him. So what's up with him? Is Dwelly going to make the team? They brought in a bunch of tight ends. They have Tanner Hudson. They have Tyler Kroft, who's been started a lot of games in the NFL. What's the deal there? That's, I mean, kind of an important thing for a run-first team.
There's a lot of interesting names there. I mean, Warner's a try-hard blocker, not a lot of power in his run game blocking, but I mean, that's his strength of his game. Dwelly's not a blocker at all. Kroft is a young veteran that's been around the league. Same with Fumagalli. The guy that kind of opened my eyes when we saw at OTAs or the minicamp was when Jordan Matthews made that play down the field. And if you look at Jordan Matthews, he's put on about 10, 15 pounds of muscle in his upper body. He looks much more like a tight end this year than last year. True. Who knows? Maybe Jordan Matthews is their movement tight end. I mean, to me, it really comes down to Dwelly versus Matthews as far as the movement tight end. And then as far as the blocking tight end, I would imagine it's Warner against Kroft against Fumagalli. And probably there can only be, 2 guys emerge out of that group behind Kittle.
Isn't it amazing that Jordan Matthews is still playing football? I mean, this is a guy that I think went to Pro Bowls. He was a second-round pick. He's made some money in this league. And now he's essentially, playing for fun on the 49ers practice squad, trying to learn a new position. I mean, it's admirable. He's remaking himself, and it may pay off with another contract. It's very interesting.
He's related to Jerry Rice.
Right.
He's Jerry Rice's nephew, I think. He's 6, so he came into the league. He was like 6'3", about 215 pounds. They're listing him now at 6'3", 236. And it looks it. I mean, he looks a lot bigger. But I mean, we saw him make a play down the seam where he split the coverage and made an incredible catch. I mean, he might be more of a downfield threat than Dwelly. So I think that battle could be interesting. The dynamic movement, flexed out tight end.
Definitely faster than Dwelly, no question. Last battle, and this one's going to be a close one, heated one. Sudfeld and Purdy. Can't wait. Can't wait to see who's the backup quarterback.
Give me Purdy all day and every day on that one. I'm convinced that Purdy's going to be better than Sudfeld.
Well, we'll see. I mean, is he going to get some reps with the backups, or is he only going to get the dregs with the third strings? We'll see. But I'd like to see them actually get a little competition because I think Purdy's better as well.
Purdy's exciting, man. Purdy, as people would say, well, how could you say that? He's undersized and he doesn't have this, doesn't have that. Just watch him on the practice field. There's a command about the kid. Then you look at the fact he's made 46 starts in a major conference, that he threw for 12,000 yards. He has a great touchdown to interception ratio. He throws guys open. He hits guys. The accuracy is really there. He can throw on the move. He shows command. So all these things to me looked quite a bit better than Nate Sudfeld. I would be shocked if Sudfeld beats out Purdy in the preseason. I know the money says he will, but I don't pay too much attention to the money. Those decisions are made in a vacuum. I think Purdy's going to beat him out.